If you want to be number one, I'm sorry, boy, that's been done. But if you got the itches for a sack of riches, don't matter how avaricious, I'm the man that can grant your wishes.
I am Benjamin Kepner of Global Social Media Marketing, and Shaquille O'Neal is
Kazam!
Welcome, Growth Tribe, fellow entrepreneurs and nonprofits, as well as fellow thrivers. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to title your YouTube videos to help you with your exposure and increase your views. So with that being said, let's go into our example for today. We're going to be talking about one of our clients here at Global Social Media Marketing, who's a nonprofit. The name of the nonprofit is called Thrive Union. I recently just attended out their Thrive Fundamentals course. If you haven't checked it out there, it's an amazing experience, really amazing things that they're doing at Thrive with the community there to really kind of teach you in this life school how to grow, know true belonging, and improve your world. So definitely give them a check out and shout out to them. So for today's video, we're going to be talking about Thrive Union's YouTube channel and how we're going through a process right now of changing their titles, right? From a high level, titles may look like a very simplistic thing to a business owner or an entrepreneur. However, based upon my experience and my research with YouTube and presentations within the last few years, I really believe that YouTube stands to have some of the most research to do when you're actually creating the content for your videos. And we're going to get into that to a second. So to start with, we've got another video that we're going to be kind of referencing in this video. It's our database, right? We've got a database that we've created also for global. We've got another video that will link to this, but we're going to be showing you an example of Thrive, right? We're going to be focusing on a video on commitment, right? I have a commitment with Thrive Union to do a great job with their videos, increase their subscribers and their views. And in order for me to fulfill that commitment, I'm going to have to spend a lot of time researching and understanding what are the right titles for their current videos that maybe are not being found on YouTube for a number of reasons, and as well as kind of guiding the content strategy going forward. It shouldn't be, in my perspective, a process in which your YouTube videos are created and then you create the title and thumb card. It's actually, or thumbnail, it's actually the other way around. You should take the research that you're going to do for your titles to be kind of your blueprint on how you're going to be this genie of having this magic happen on YouTube, right? It's a complex world out there. It's not easy to get found on YouTube. So, with all that being said, I'm going to show you guys an example today of how I would think about going through this with an example video on commitment, ironically enough, right? So I've got this video for Thrive, and first thing I want to talk about is when we're going in and we're editing the video, right? We'll have this title section in here, and it will tell me characters that I have available if I use something also like an extension, maybe like Grammarly. That's what this is. So first thing I would say with your title is don't make it too long. Up to your discretion, right? There'll be some different types of phrases that people might be looking for. So definitely don't give it one word either. But, first thing to start with is, around 60 characters is kind of what's suggested. And the reason for that is because of the preview of the video, right? So if we wanted to go real quickly and look at Thrive's videos, right? This is what I can see, right? You can see in their examples of their Thrive talks that they've got that ... That's what that 60 characters is. So, my advice on that is try to have that to where you can see the preview, or have it in a way that's driving a hook or a loop that, oh, I didn't get to read the rest of this title, so I'm interested to click on there. And we're going to talk about, besides the research, there's a lot of psychological reasoning as to why someone watches a video and why they click on it, right? So looking at that, I think, is important, number one. And we would call that like a hook, right? An open hook. It's kind of telling you, this is what the video is going to be about, trying to like reel you in, right? It's no different than when you look at newspapers or ads on Facebook. They're trying to hook you in with something very quickly and grabs your attention. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the keywords, right? So originally this video, this was the title that they were using, was Commitments, the Vehicle to Fulfillment and Empowerment. Not a bad title, honestly. First reaction that I have when I look at a thumbnail like this is that the wording of it is dominating the thumbnail. So one thing that I see also happening in YouTube right now is that you see a lot of channels trying to repeat their title in the thumbnail. Now, that is a good approach from a communication perspective, being consistent. However, because a thumbnail is a small, limited area of space, we don't necessarily need to put the entire title in the thumbnail. Maybe if the title of the video is this, right, we could do something that's just as simple as commitments, uh, fulfillment, and empowerment. Something quick and easy, or maybe it's just commitments, right? Give that thumbnail a little bit more breathing room for the actual image itself. Here's another quick tip that I've realized on the end of actually promoting your YouTube videos on Facebook is that if I want to boost a YouTube video that I have created and shared now on Facebook, well, first thing Facebook's going to do is they're also going to pull that thumbnail. And as you may or may not know with Facebook is that your text there should be very limited, right? It's less than 20%. They're not even going to let you advertise that. It's going to be disapproved through Facebook's mentality if I was using something like this in its current present estate. So think about your title, number one, around keeping it short, hooking them in, but then my thumbnail, it needs to be relative to that, right? I mean, my thumbnail should communicate. It should be contextually. I know that this video is going to be about commitment, and maybe this is something that's going to help me from a personal development perspective of getting that fulfillment and empowerment to be committed to things. But we also want to just remember that we don't have to include the exact same wording. So I did want to discuss that. The next thing that I'm going to look at, right, when I'm looking at the title of the video is I'm going to look for the keywords, obviously. I'm going to look either for short tail keywords or long tail keywords. Short tail meaning if I was just using the word commitment, or long tail meaning if I was using the word how to keep your commitments, right? That's more of a phrase. It's long tail. It gives me the ability using long tail keywords to have less competitor competition. And also what it does is it helps me be a little bit more niched, right? It's having me focus on a very specific, potentially industry or persona. And it's another thing that would be really important to understand when you're creating your titles. When you first start a YouTube channel, to expect that you're going to be able to reach and get your videos viewed and a lot of subscribers when you're just starting out in the first year, it's not realistic, right? I mean, there's video influencers that have been on YouTube now for over a decade, and there's billions of videos that are being uploaded every day. So because of that, focus on your persona. Who's my audience? Who am I speaking to? What type of keywords are they searching for? What are their pain points? What are the values that I can do to hook them in and draw them in? So if I was looking at commitments, for example, right, as a keyword, I would probably type in commitments, right? Maybe I'm going to use their original variation of commitments. You know, if there is a vehicle to fulfillment. Maybe I'm doing, you know, how to keep commitments, right? That's where I'm kind of headed thinking so far in updating this video where I was going to maybe take it. So now we look at that, right? And this is Google AdWords Keyword Planner for those of you that aren't familiar with Google Ads, right? Google obviously would like YouTube as their parent company to be using their tools that they have available. Unfortunately, there isn't technically a YouTube keyword planner within that from Google specifically. We'll get into a YouTube keyword planner, but from Google, I like to start with the keyword planner, right? Google is the #1 search engine. It's going to tell me, hey, you know, this is the amount of search that's happening per month, right? So I know that commitment as a keyword is being researched 110,000 times in search results within the United States in English on Google. That's rich data, right? I know that I need to have that in there. Competition is low, right? There's not a lot of people advertising on it. You can see other things here too, right? Commitment meaning, right? Probably if I'm searching into search results, I want to know what the meaning of commitment is. Organizational commitment. Now I'm appealing maybe potentially to business owners, CEOs, chief operation officers, They're trying to figure out how to be more committed in their organization. So I would start there, right? I would also, notice that the vehicle to commitment, it had 0 searches. So already I know that original title was not a good title because there's nobody searching for it. So if I wanted to just see again, maybe how to keep commitments, right? How many people are searching for that? Okay, now there's actually some people searching that. There's 20 some odd people that are doing that, right? So I might kind of play around with that. But keep in mind there is a difference between how people search on Google and how they search on YouTube. Normally people that are searching on Google, from my perspective, are going to solve a problem, right? They need to research something and make the best decision possible based upon what they've searched for and the search results that Google provides, because they trust Google and they trust the credibility of their search results. YouTube, on the other hand, is a lot of the time used for entertainment and how-tos, right? I might, if I'm on Google, for example, and I'm in need of a personal development course that can help me with my commitment issues potentially that I'm dealing with psychologically, then maybe how I'm going to search that on Google is, commitment courses, or how to improve my commitment, or commitment professors, those types of things. That's very specific. If I go to YouTube, I'm probably just literally looking for that problem in a how-to type of format, right? How to fix my commitments, how to keep my commitments, how to resolve my commitment issues, how to deal with commitments, right? I might have a number of variations in that. So I would then, the next step I would say that you would want to take is you would want to kind of see what's going on in YouTube, right? It's the second world's largest search engine in the world. So how to keep commitment for yourself, right? How to keep commitment. So it's 30 a month. So you can already see the pattern there. There's more people searching that. How I'm able to kind of see these little numbers here, so you guys understand that, is using a tool called vidIQ. I would definitely look into that, right? So we've already gone through already so far in our tool belt as Batman, or Kazam, that's a genie solving this YouTube magic, is that we've got a channel assessment sheet where we're logging it. We've got another video to that. We've got, our actual the back end of YouTube where we're editing it. We've used Google AdWords Keyword Planner to have an understanding around the keywords that we're trying to use in the content that's relative. Now we're going and we're searching directly within YouTube. And I'm looking for, let's say that was the direction that I was moving in, right? I'm going to go search for that. And it's going to give me these other autofill things. But then in my search results, right, here we can go. I can see that TED Talks, it already is coming up in top search results. Number one, why is that happening? It's mainly because TED Talks is a very well known brand, millions of subscribers, as you can see, 21 million subscribers. But what they're doing here, if you look at their title, is they're using an emotional title. Why people suck at keeping promises. I mean, how does that speak to you, right? And it doesn't even use the word commitments, but in a roundabout way, people that suck at keeping promises need to learn how to keep their commitments, right? So there's an emotion. You can see Les Brown. She's got emotional visual. Keeping commitments to yourself. Okay, so now maybe I need to kind of adjust and maybe see, is it keeping commitments to yourself? What does that look like? Right? Not as many people searching for it. I can see some of these other things. I might just type in the word commitment. What has come up by that, right? Some different songs, commitment issues, boom. 12,000 people a month are searching for that, right? So now I may have found something, right? Is people that need to watch this commitment video that we are empowering them to handle their commitment issues. We need to use the word commitment issues. So now I might go back to the keyword planner and type this in and see what it looks like on Google. So there we go, right? We've got 5,400 searches there, where now we know that commitment issues is being searched more than how to keep commitment, right? So we need to maybe, focus around having commitment issues and commitment in there. Now we've got two words that's more long tail. I might even now go to directly Google, right, as just another kind of test, and type in commitment issues. See what else pops up, right? Commitment issues, meaning, commitment issue signs, right? That could be very good. So let's just go back to Google and type the other one I had, right? How to keep commitments. Maybe there's not as many people doing that, right? And then if I type in commitments, I see meeting whatever, but those aren't necessarily, I'm not trying to define commitments. I'm trying to help people that have commitment problems or issues, right? So commitment issues would probably be a pretty good, thing to use, right? Make sure that we've spelt it right as well. And now maybe we add that variation, how to get over commitment issues, right? That maybe that's a solution now that we're solving for those people that are solving that. So that's kind of how you would want to go about that, right? Here's another way of why I was maybe potentially going into the how to keep. So I've researched Google, I've researched YouTube, I've looked at when I went into the search results with YouTube, I've also looked to see who's doing well, right? So TED Talks comes in, that makes sense. They're kind of in some ways a competitor of Thrive. So, one trick that you could do here as another tool is I could go research my competitor, TED Talks, right? Go to videos. And then the next thing I could do is there's a filter button here that says I can upload, play all, or I can sort. So let's sort by the most popular videos that TED Talks have. Boom. Now I know, okay, Beatbox Brilliance is one of their best performing videos. My Philosophy for a Happy Life, Faster Than a Calculator, 7 Ways to Make Conversation with Anyone. So now I can kind of look at how, TED is doing that, right? Another guy I know that's really big in the personal development space recently that's killing the game on Facebook is Jay Shetty. He's got tons of subscribers. Let's look at what he's doing.
Hey everyone, this is Jay Shetty and welcome to my...
So you can kind of see how he's doing his titles, right? If you feel insecure, if you argue, if you're lacking confidence, right? He's driving emotional things. And I think that's something that sometimes people are so focused on the keywords and phrases that they don't realize that we're humans and that if there is an emotional title and a good thumbnail, I might click on that just because of the title emotion that it's driving. The next thing you can see that he's doing is he's saying, watch this, right? If they left you, watch this. How I broke up with my ex, where new ideas come from. But he's using that, before you message someone, watch this. He's kind of saying in a way when he's using that approach, right? You need to watch this solution before you know what the solution is. So he's driving that emotion. He's maybe teasing us. He's hooking us in. That's a really good example of doing that. And I could go and check out what his, most watched views are, right? You can see all this information that's from TubeBuddy. We'll get into that in a second. But let's say, I'm on his video and I want to see his most viewed. So we would go to videos, and then we would sort by, and then most popular. So let's go see what's going on with Jay. So before you waste time, watch this. If you miss someone, watch this. So again, he's driving that emotional interaction for me as I'm watching that. So I wanted to show you how you're kind of using that as you're titling your videos, right? So I've done the keyword now. I've done some research on maybe some of my competitors by looking at their most viewed, what titles are they using. The next thing that I can use is I can use a tool that is the Advanced Marketing Institute's Emotional Analyzer. What it does is it gives you this score around the title that you're creating, and if it's driving emotion. So if the title of my video right now is How to Keep Your Commitments, and then I go here and I want to see what the emotion is that's driving, right? It could probably be personal care or education. We'll select personal care and then submit it and see how it does. It's giving me a score of 40%, and it's saying that this is, appeals equally to people's spiritual and intellectual spheres. So you can try some different things out there, right? So maybe if I had just used like the word, commitment issues, let's see how that works. Same use case. Oh. How to deal with commitment issues. So 50%, right? We want to try to get it in that 50 to 75%. That's good copywriting, right? So that's going to drive an emotional, oh man, I'm really having some commitment issues with being able to get to 1 million YouTube subscribers to make Thrive Union the best YouTube channel, right? I need to have that emotional solution on how I'm going to be able to deal with that. So this is a good use case of how I can use this tool and start to analyze that, right? There's another tool that we can use, which is CoSchedule. So maybe what I want to do here is I also want to kind of see if there's any other, weird patterns or, maybe I'm not using the right types of terms. So this is going to give me a score. And you can see, right? I was looking up earlier how to title your YouTube videos to get more views. How to keep your commitments, right? That score, it should be in the green, hopefully. It's going to give me, how to is very common in YouTube search results. Or, it's not uncommon. There is that emotional, so that's good, right? Going back to that emotion, how to power, right? Maybe I need to include a powerful word like the best, right? So, how about like the best way on how to keep your commitments? Let's see how that works. There we go. Now our score is increased, right? We've used that powerful way, how to keep your commitments. We've still got that. And look at this now too. Best, boom. We're still emotional, not as emotional because we've extended it. Uncommon way, right? When you're looking for something on YouTube, sometimes you're trying to learn ways in which you can do something, ways in which I can increase my YouTube views, ways in which I can solve my commitment issues, right? So this is a really good tool. It's going to tell you the characters, right? So there's that 44 right length, 55 characters, right? As I had mentioned, a number of words. It's going to kind of give you, the words that people are going to look at, right? The best keeping your commitments. That's what's going to drive when I look at that potentially, some different, keywords, ways and commitments, sentiment. This shows a positive sentiment. That's what we want to encourage at Thrive, right? As a positive community, we can impact these people's lives for a positive change, a positive empowerment. We can also see, what it would maybe potentially look like in Google if we want to retry to do that, and see our headline score, right? So this is a pretty cool tool that I discovered through video influencers. So shout out to those guys. If you catch my video, you guys are doing some great stuff, and I will try to check out your book, YouTube Secrets, this year as well. So I wanted to show you that, right? So we've got the CoScheduler, and we've got the Emotional Analyzer, and we've got the Google, and we've got the YouTube, and we've got vidIQ, which is going to help us. And then the other one that I wanted to mention is TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy is a really good tool, software application. Some guys that have just been working in YouTube for a really long time. It's a Chrome extension. It's this nice little red guy. So what we'll want to do with TubeBuddy, right, is we'll want to take that example word, and we can see, right, if we just use commitments on YouTube, right, we can kind of see the search volume. What's the competition? Can we optimize? How many people are actually searching for that? Number of videos that have that, right? 45.8 million. Really good there. And then what it's going to do is it's going to give us some different types of video searches, right? These are people are searching for around the word commitment. Here's the things that they're searching on the web, right? There's that common commitment meaning and definition. Then it's going to give us some video topics. So that's where you're seeing me come up with that idea of how to keep your commitments. So if I click on that right now, wham, shazam, I am Benjamin Kepner. And it's going to tell me very good, 70 out of 100, the search volume's fair. What this also tells me is it's now showing me the number of videos in search results, right? So if I'm a new YouTube channel and I don't have a lot of subscribers, or I'm the new kid on the block, I want to go after the number of videos in search results where the number is less. I don't want that number to be in the millions. It's good that there's that many videos and there's people probably searching for that stuff, but it's going to be too high competition, right? I want to kind of get this number in a place, right? I mean, this is saying very good because of the views of the videos that tend to get your chance of ranking these search results with, using that word. So now it's going to, that's going to allow me to probably get found a little bit more. But let's just kind of go back and track commitments again, right? There's all these different types of results. So how to, how to keep your commitments, how to stick to your commitments, right? Those are somewhat emotional. Do right women commitments. Those things are. This is kind of telling like. Relationship things, right? That I could emotionally appeal to or drive. And then what it's also going to do is it's going to tell me the top ranking tags, right? So it's going to say these are the tags. So let's say if I did, how to keep commitments to yourself, okay, it's all right. Then it's going to give me those tags, right, that are related to that. There's a lot of things around, life coach, motivation, mindset, those types of things. So I want to kind of get this also in a way that it's ranking higher. It's in that green area, and then kind of leverage that, right, when I'm making the title. So there's a number of ways, right, in which I've just shown you with that. The next thing that TubeBuddy will allow you to do is to look at those tags. So you can kind of see down here, right? I've got different variations of those tags, right? And you can see where we rank. So we want to get this number in search results as a number 1, right? I think it's important that you take the time to use TubeBuddy in a way in which you're trying to discover that good ranking, low competition, looking at the tags that I can rank high for, and now I can adjust my title to that, right? So that's another tool that we can use. So let's go ahead and just kind of finish on the note of there's not a perfect science to what this should be. You're going to need to let it be in the algorithm for YouTube search results, and you can kind of see how we're doing it is we're putting those numbers of the competition, we're showing those keywords. I know exactly how many keywords have been searched on by TubeBuddy and through Google Ads keyword. I'm doing the autofill research through Google and YouTube. I'm using vidIQ. I'm using emotional hooks and making sure that my content is relevant. I'm not including too many characters. I'm keeping it around the 60 to 80 range. I'm looking at what my competitors are doing, and I'm researching by what's the most popular for them by filtering on their videos. And I might even just also go in the YouTube results and see what titles are working best. So with that, guys, I know that's a lot, but there's a reason why this stuff isn't that easy on YouTube. And I think a lot of people need to understand that the right way, the most effective way for your titles to be created is through using all of these different tools in research and appealing to emotion, appealing to that psychological aspect as well of, hey, this title or this thumbnail needs to communicate this emotion in a way that that person clicks on it, not just because of the keywords or the way that I wrote it, but because it's driving them to take action in that. And so I'm going to leave you with that, guys. I hope this has been super beneficial. Everything's coming in and coming out. If you can, smash that like button, leave us a comment. Tell us what you're doing with your titles and how you're getting results for views and subscribers. And I hope this has been helpful.